Brought to you by Dentistics. Your dog humps the
treat
yeah,
for when
your
you're-
dog humps the air and he gets a dentist.
They get a treat.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. Where do we even want to begin from there?
I don't know if
or
we
do
can.
we just want to restart? Or
I don't. But you know what? Let's just start over.
yeah, let's just start over. That I don't think any of that was quality.
No, it's. I would have to do so much editing. On
Yeah.
That.
It was
Make it
impossible.
salvageable.
Like it was just dog everywhere. Just so much dead air.
Oh my gosh, that was just the worst.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey gang, couple quick notes before we start out this week. We recently launched our Patreon account where you can donate every month to keep the lights on and to keep the show running. If you would like to do so, head to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. That is patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. We have some different tiers up there. If you are interested in actually donating to us, you get some different rewards depending upon how much you donate each month. For more information, head there, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. As always, before we get into everything, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at My Bourbon Shop, on Facebook at This Is My Bourbon Shop, and you can email us at thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. And if you have questions or comments or whatever for the show, please use the hashtag ThisIsMyBourbonPodcast, and we would be happy to talk to you, answer your questions, communicate with you, whatever. And until then, we hope you enjoy this show. And as always, this is My Bourbon Podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of This is My Bourbon Podcast. I feel like I've said that 1,000 times today.
It might have been the third time.
Spoiler alert, it was. Where we talk about what makes bourbon the spirit of Kentucky. My name's Perry. Sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather this week, but I'm gonna muddle my way through it as I have been doing the past couple weeks of my life.
On
Anyway,
camera.
yeah. With me this week,
And to put it on a positive note,
and with me this week is half of the home-based co-hosts. As you probably figured out by now, Curtis is here with me.
yeah,
Tanner could not make it, unfortunately. But we look forward to having him back on after the holidays. This is our last episode of the year before we take holiday break.
before we take on Christmas.
Before we take on Christmas. Oh, that's
Which
not...
I'm sure everyone kind of feels like, oh, I got to take on Christmas.
I definitely feel like it this year.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of running around that we're doing, not just to prepare for Christmas, but,
Yeah.
The actual act of being merry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very stressful.
Christmas is my favorite holiday. Like
for sure.
I go crazy for it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Christmas, but we are all over the place this year. I mean, that's what happens when you have a wife or a significant other. You're all over the place. Anyway, so as you know, I hope by now, episode 8, we like to drink.
Yeah.
Especially while we record.
Yeah.
And we are drinking tonight.
Specifically bourbon.
Mostly bourbon. I don't drink a whole lot else other than bourbon.
No.
Sometimes beer. Sometimes. Anyway, we are drinking a Liquor Barn pick of Blanton's. This came out in September, October this year, I think. Dumped on July 19th. 93 proof, all that good stuff. Barrel 181. This was a part of Liquor Barn's 30th anniversary series. I can't remember all the ones that they had, but it was from what I can remember off the top of my head, it was this a Weller Antique Buffalo Trace pick, which we've had before. I don't know where it is. Is it downstairs? No, it's right next to me. Jeez. Full disclosure, we struggled a little bit to get to this part in the
We pretty much ran up the stairs.
Oh, man, we're back in the office.
Yeah.
As opposed to the living room of my house. So we're a little frazzled, but I think that we're starting to ease back into it. But anyway, somewhere lost out in there, the ether of recording podcasts, is us talking about this bottle or this glass of Blanton's. Curtis, let's try to reiterate what we both thought about it.
Yeah, for sure. First off, very smooth. So good. The flavors are good on the palate. The nose we were talking, it just wasn't, you didn't get much from it. It was just there.
It's very one note.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like it's, all heat or anything, but there's not a whole lot on the nose there. So I'm gonna throw us a little curveball here. I'm gonna say let's do 3 different reviews this episode.
Okay.
At least. I think let's just kind of fly by the seat of our pants on this one.
Let's go for it.
So, as you know, if you are a repeat listener of the show, we have a rating system of nose, palate, price, and finish. Each category is out of 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. And at the very end of it, we add all our scores up, and that's the review. So anyway, we're going to be doing this here, Liquor Barn Blanton's Pick, as the first review of the episode. So do you want to go ahead and talk about what you think, what number you'd like to give the nose?
Yeah.
And I'm really going to try to be able to talk on this audio medium.
Talking is hard sometimes.
Talking
Words
hard.
and...
Word no good for Jerry.
Nose, I think I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
You get the notes. It's just one note, though. It's just that sweet, caramely smell you get from it, which is sort of similar to regular Blanton's, but you get so much more in a regular Blanton's bottle than this pick.
Yeah.
So nose 3 out of 5. Let's go to palate. Palate, really smooth. No complaints there. I really enjoyed it. Got the vanilla, the caramel.
Sorry, I picked up something on the... I should probably get on the mic. I picked up something on the nose that I hadn't gotten before, and it was just like a little bit of floral.
Okay.
Like kind of flowery, but I mean nothing like overpowering or anything, but I like it.
I would say palate, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. And finish, there's not much of one, I don't think.
No, I haven't really found that there's a whole lot either, but like what is there is what I like in bourbon.
It's pleasant.
Yeah, it is, but it's not the best thing in the world that I've ever really.
No, and it's not gonna get you like some other bourbons are. It's not gonna surprise you at the end. It's very just smooth, goes straight down.
Kind of generic.
Good. Yeah, kind of generic.
It goes down and it feels good, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So on that note, finish, I would say a 4 out of 5. And price, what'd you get it for?
So I got this for the same price that you normally get a bottle of Blanton's for, which was like $60.
$60? Mm-hmm. I think I would rather have a regular Blanton's bottle than this store pick.
Yeah.
But for the price, I mean, it's a good bourbon. I'd say that's a 4 out of 5. So
I think that's
pretty.
fair.
It's a pretty even bourbon.
So you're at 15 out of 20.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good for. I mean, that's typically where we kind of land in terms of our reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Nose on it, I think I'm going to give it a 3 as well. It's really neither here nor there for me. Like I smell it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is some bourbon that I'm drinking, or about to drink. Palate, I'm gonna definitely give it a 4. I honestly might wind up giving it the same same score that you do.
Yeah.
I think if the only thing I might change would be finish. I might bump that down to a 3, just because like it's again it's good, but it's neither here nor there for me. Like it doesn't like blow up or anything at the end. It's just it carries on everything that you enjoy from the palate, but it does kind of fade off pretty quickly, and it leaves a lot of the heat behind with it. So I'm gonna give it a 3, and then price I'm gonna give it a 4. I think Blanton's is one of the better priced bourbons on the market, especially for
the quality.
Yeah, and I'm always interested in barrel picks. So especially if you can get a barrel pick at the same price as the regular product. Like if you can go and find a Knob Creek pick, Knob Creek Single Barrel pick at $45, which is exactly what it should be, when it's not a store pick, I think that's great. So I don't have any problem with
and honestly how I think it should be, sort of.
Yeah,
but
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I understand the aspect of like they're picking it specifically for this store, but then again, you're also like, it's the same thing. It's just a different barrel.
Yeah. So I think overall, I'm gonna give it a 14 out of 20, which again is not, I'm not terribly upset by that or anything.
No, I'm not wowed, but I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
I'm almost done with it already. I'm just
yeah. Well, we've both been, through 3 takes of the show.
Yeah.
We've been trying to finish this at the same time.
I've been drinking on it for 45 minutes, so
you better be about done with it.
Exactly.
But I also find it interesting to, be able to pull this out and share it with somebody that, does like Blantons, and be like, well, if you like that, here's a different experience for you. And I one of the things that we talked about before we moved recording locations was that I don't know if I really like this as much like as a Blanton's product as much as I do just kind of a standard or like not standard but just kind of as a more general bourbon. Because like I said, it does have some of the things that make Blanton's on it, but overall, I would still rather be drinking regular Blantons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the profile is pretty much you're getting the base foundation of the profile in this, but you're not getting any of the extra little notes that you usually get with Blantons.
Yeah.
This one's just, it's more straight through. It's what you expect. Not from Blanton's, but from bourbon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And if you want to compare this review to an actual review or a review of regular Blanton Single Barrel, head back to episode 3 of the show, where I review Blanton Single Barrel with my dad. And we didn't have the rating system at that point, but
still works though.
You can still get
it's
a pretty good
sense.
idea. Yeah, you get a good general consensus of what we think about it. So, as you might have been able to tell by the title of the episode, and us kind of briefly talking about it, a lot of what we're going to be talking about this episode is our holiday bourbon traditions and what we like to drink.
Yeah.
During the most wonderful time of the year. Do you find yourself? And I am just going to jump right into this. Yeah. Do you find yourself
in bourbon? Like, where do I find
hard pause?
Yeah.
No. Do you find yourself drinking cocktails more during the holidays than you do just kind of straight bourbon?
I don't actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, I drink straight bourbon mostly. I don't like mini cocktails, so I stick with straight bourbon or neat.
But you do like the Lincoln Avenue though, right?
Oh, the Lincoln Avenue.
So I'm gonna give a little teaser here. After the first of the year, I think the second episode that's going to come out is going to be an episode where I talk to my wife Lucy's dad, Brett, about the Lincoln cocktail, which is the most unbelievable, under the radar.
It's the best thing I've ever had.
I mean, it's easily the best bourbon cocktail I think that you will ever have. It's award winning. I mean, it's flavorful. It's spirit forward for people who like spirit forward cocktails, and I think you're going to get a good kick out of that conversation because it's a good time.
Yeah,
I've had it under my belt for a little while, and I'm excited for y'all to hear that. But anyway,
for sure, it's one of the best drinks I've ever had, and the way he talks about it, it's just perfect.
Yeah, that's one of the things too that makes that episode so fun. I'm not going to dive too much into this because you're going to be able to hear it for yourself in a matter of weeks. But excuse me. He's very passionate about making drinks and bourbon in general. So be on the lookout for that episode when it comes out. I typically just drink bourbon all year round, kind of naturally. But I still find myself making hot toddies or
yeah,
it's
funny you mentioned that though, because just the other day I made a hot toddy.
When you were sick?
Yeah, when I was sick, I was just like, let's make a hot toddy. Perfect. Went straight to bed. Literally, like,
knock me right out.
Yeah.
I don't think it was just bourbon that was in there.
No, it definitely once might have been NyQuil. I don't know. No.
Yay, self-medicating.
Yay! So, yeah, I made one the other night, and it was like 8:30. I was out by 9 o'clock.
Jeez, man.
But they're so good, hot toddies are.
Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we went to, have you ever been to Woodford?
Yes.
Okay. So, oh, I knew that. We talked about that a couple episodes ago. Anyway, Lucy and I went with my mom and dad on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And
is that the first time you've been?
Yeah, I'd never been before. Beautiful campus. I mean, I love that distillery campus.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a rye hot toddy, a Woodford rye hot toddy. Like you take the mixology class or whatever. That's like 20 minutes, and they walk you through making a cocktail.
Sweet. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So the way it's intended is that it's supposed to be like an add-on to a tour.
Mm-hmm.
So you go on the tour and everything, and then you have to book it in advance, of course. But then you go in that little office house, and they walk you through making a cocktail. And we did a rye hot toddy, and they were throwing stuff in like cloves and anise and like a ginger simple syrup into stuff. I mean, it was
just the works.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy the amount of stuff that went into it, but oh my gosh, it was so good. And like, it's made me start going, I kind of want a hot toddy.
I want a cocktail. Yeah. Like, what am I right now?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
But if I'm drinking bourbon or rye around this time of year, I also have a water stain on my pants from when I was trying to clean out my glass, and it definitely looks like I peed myself. Anyway, if I'm drinking bourbon or rye during this time of year, one of the things that I like is it really just something that's a little bit warmer, or reminds me more of the holidays. I also like a nuttier bourbon. This time of year.
Reminds you of the like chestnuts.
Yeah, exactly. So like Old Granddad 114, which I've got sitting here over on my desk. I think we're going to do a review of that sometime in the future. It's so nutty. It's so full. It's pretty cheap too for 114 proof bourbon. You can get it for like $25, $26. Mm-hmm. And then one of the ones we've talked about before, and we actually were I was planning on having us review this tonight. But we've both had it before, and I wanted Tanner to be able to experience it, but Tanner's not here. The Angel's Envy Rye finished. Yes. It finished in rum casks, right? Uh-huh. You had that at my house a while back.
Yes.
What'd you think about it?
Oh, it was fantastic. So good. It is literally Christmas in your mouth. It has that spice. It's so good. Big fan of Angel's Envy Rye.
Agreed. I'm pouring bourbon. Sorry.
Good.
I'm pouring our next review. Dead air. Good stuff. So what I just poured for Curtis was Henry McKenna 10-year bottle and bond, which last episode we actually were drinking on before we did our review of Old Forester 1920. And the reason that I'm pulling this out is because there is something, to me, different and special about this bottle.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but this is the best bottle of Henry McKenna that I've ever bought.
All right. Do tell. Why?
Well, you're going to find out in our review. Man, I tell you, first off, the nose on that just, I mean, it's so much more powerful than any Henry McKenna bottle that I've ever gotten before. I mean, it's floral. There's
floral, earthy.
Yeah,
very,
there's virtually no heat on it.
No.
From what I can tell. But like on the palate,
yeah,
it's like a gingerbread cookie.
Gingerbread cookie. And there's an earth element to it. I can't put my tongue on like what it is, but there's an earthy tone to it.
Definitely.
And I think that's what separates it for me.
Yeah.
Is because I just had a separate bottle of Henry McKenna too.
Yeah.
And
tonight before you came over?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I drank the whole bottle. Just literally. I'm drunk.
And then you drove 30 minutes to get here.
I'm drunk right now. No. This was like a couple weeks ago. But it's totally different.
Yeah.
This is a special bottle.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Like, there's something, and that's one of the beauties of single barrel bourbons, is that things are going to change from bottle to bottle, from barrel to barrel. But yeah, it does have that earthiness to it. It's got like a gingerbread cookie flavor to it, but and the finish just goes forever and ever and ever. Like I'm still feeling a lot of those, like the original palate flavors on my tongue. And I mean, I'm gonna be so sad when this bottle's gone.
Yeah,
and I mean,
I would be.
I might just like have to store this away in the bunker and buy
like,
another
do
bottle.
Do not drink.
Yeah,
this.
and buy another bottle and like save this for special occasions. But
and maybe at one point, like you'll hit another one of those bottles that kind of tastes the same.
I'm sure I will, but you know, for right now, oh jeez, it's kind of like it's not dirt necessarily, but it is kind of like grassy.
Grassy.
And I think
like a wheat grass, I want to say.
Yeah. Which is, you know what it is? I bet it's the corn that's coming through.
It definitely is the corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now
it's
that
sweet.
Yeah, because now that I'm letting it sit and I'm really thinking about it, it is kind of that sweeter corn kind of flavor to it. But
it's not like what you usually get from the corn. Usually it brings out the sweetness of it.
Yeah.
But this is bringing out some of the sweetness, but also having this, it's rooting back to like when it was grown in the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I just, this is going to be one of the higher bourbons that I've reviewed on the show. I mean, I'm going to be real, I'm going to be real honest with you. So that being said, hop into your,
all right,
your review if you don't mind.
Nose. I honestly, I'm not as high as you are on it. I think it's a good nose. You get the earth tones we've been talking about. Very sweet. I think I'm going to give the nose a 3.5.
That's fair.
We'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. Palate, this is where I'm all about. The palate is great. It's something you've never had in a bourbon before. It's a taste that it's just so unique, I guess, to this bottle.
I know.
So that's just crazy.
I mean, we're both like sitting here getting really excited about this bottle of bourbon because it's so, and I was waiting for somebody else to verify my feelings about this because I'm the only one that's been able to try it so far. I've had it for like a week now.
Yeah.
And like, every time that I've had it, I've just been like, oh, somebody else needs to try this so that I don't think that I'm going crazy.
So I'm not,
And I mean, it's just so nice to hear
honestly,
somebody else.
Honestly, that's how I am with 1792. And that's why I've always been like, you
gotta try it.
You gotta try this. This is so good. Just to confirm that I'm not an idiot.
That's one of my favorite things about bourbon. But anyway, palate for you.
Yeah. Palate, I gotta give it a... it's tough to give it a 5 because, like...
I know.
How do you give something a perfect score?
I know.
So a 4.2... A 4.75 is what I'm giving it. Just because I feel like I can't give it a 5.
Okay, hold on. We need to take these numbers down. So you had a 3.5 and a 4.75.
Yes.
Right? Okay,
so that is...
Oh, I hate math.
That is 10, right?
Hold on.
That's 10.25.
I am breaking out the calculator. Don't judge me.
4.75. Yeah. I'm glad...
Plus 3.
I'm not the only one that math was... I had trouble in.
An 8?
No.
What did I do?
4.
You are witnessing
plus 4.25. I'm pretty sure.
I thought you said 3. I thought you said 3.5.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. 0.5.
8.25.
Okay. So I don't know what I did, but okay. So 8.25.
8.25. The finish really good. It just keeps going. I'll give that a 4.75. Screw it. All right.
You're gonna give it a 5?
We're restarting. We are restarting. So the nose, I'll give a 3.5.
Okay.
The palate, I'm giving a 5. The finish, I'm giving a 5.
Whoo.
And the price point, I have to give it a 5.
You got to give it a 5.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a $30 bottle of bourbon.
Yeah.
It's 10 years. It's 100 proof. I mean, it's so hard to beat how good this bourbon is.
And this bottle in general.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you gave it a overall...
18.5 out of 20.
Yeah, 18.5. nose for me is a 4.
Okay.
I mean, it's still got some of those sweet caramel and oaky notes on it, but the floral element, it kind of pushes me over a 3. Because the way I see it is that like if it has the caramel and the vanilla and the oak, that automatically is a 3 for me. But if it's a little bit more prominent, or it has something like the floral notes on it, I'm gonna bump it up to a 4. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna give it a 4. Palate's a 5.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's tough to beat.
I'm just so
I haven't had anything so unique.
I haven't either. Finish, I am actually gonna give it a 4 though.
Okay.
Just because like it does kind of linger, but I don't think that it's quite. I don't think the finish is quite there. I would like for the finish to be a little bit more exciting, I guess.
Yeah. And I guess in my excitement, I got a little
exuberant.
Exuberant about it, and just was like 5s everywhere. So I can relaxing a little bit. I can see that now.
Yeah.
Still a good finish, but not nearly
for sure.
Not nearly as there.
So I'm at 4, 5, 4. So that puts me at 13. And price, I'm going to give it a 5. So 18 out of 20 overall for me.
Yeah.
If you are interested in really, really hunting for this barrel of Henry McKenna, I almost said Elijah Craig. That's wrong. The barrel number on it is 3446. That number again is 3446.
Like a lottery number.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we haven't really done recommendation as far as like after a review, but like I would absolutely recommend finding this particular bottle if you can. And look, I'm still sitting here, and the flavors are still kind of evolving.
Yeah, they're still there.
I'm still finding new stuff in it as I'm as I'm drinking on it.
Yeah.
And
this is up. Yeah.
I mean,
this is up there with one of my top.
I wish that every bottle of Henry McKenna tasted this good.
Yeah.
Because that's
it would probably be in the ranks of like Pappy, regarded as that.
Mm-hmm. But this is, unfortunately, this is one of those things that is going to go unnoticed.
Yeah.
So, this is my Bourbon Podcast exclusive.
Yeah. So go get that barrel.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. It could be that this was a bottle that had been sitting on the shelf for a little while, and because I've looked for it since I got it, and I haven't been able to find it anywhere.
Okay.
So it might be gone.
Unfortunately.
So I'm gonna.
Where'd you get it at?
It was either the Liquor Barn Express or Kroger Wine and Spirits in Lexington.
Okay.
I can't remember for sure.
I live right there.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm like, I'm gonna go get it.
I mean, it's just. I wish I could say more about it.
It takes your breath away.
It really does. It really does. And my words.
Tear.
Oh man,
it's so good.
Let me tell you though. Like as soon as I open this, I I have a habit of when I open a bottle of bourbon, I automatically like sniff it, just still in the bottle. And that's not really the best way to get a gauge on the nose, but it really hit me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was clear that I was about to pour something really good,
yeah.
and then
it's your first interaction with the bourbon. It's the first thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, oh,
yeah. And then I mean, I poured it, and I mean straight out of the bottle, first open. Not had any time to breathe. I mean, I really thought that maybe something was wrong with me, because I was like, this doesn't taste like what I remember Henry McKenna tasting like, and
this bottle, just good.
I'm so happy to have something that we like this much after the Old Forester review, which we were all like, I almost thought about getting another bottle today just so we could
try it again.
And we'll do that again in the future. But it's awfully fresh to go back to that already. So anyway, 18.5 or 18.25?
18.25.
Okay. You really had to think about that.
Might have been 18.5.
Okay, so
18 and a half, maybe.
18 and a half, I guess.
Yeah.
And
then you had an 18.
And I had an 18.
Yeah.
So really high marks for this one.
For
and
sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and say cheers to
Cheers
this
to the last sip.
as I finish off my last sip of this.
Yep, still good. Didn't change. Didn't change in the 15
Good
seconds.
to the last drop. Oh, what were we talking about before? Holiday stuff.
Holiday bourbon.
Can anything even match up to that now?
No, I don't know.
In terms of like gifting bourbon, do you typically do that, or do you find like if you have a bourbon lover, like you'd rather get them a glass or a couple glasses or something?
Mm-hmm. I really haven't gifted any bourbons, except I've gifted to my brother before, but I really don't often just because my parents don't drink. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of tough to gift a bourbon because I know they're not going to have it. Like
sure.
They've been to 4 distilleries with us, and they've bought in bottles, each of them, but they all just sit there. Which is just painful.
Do you go back to their house and go, Mom, Dad?
Yes.
Can I?
Oh, I'm just like, can you open it, please? Because it's killing me. But this is what I told him. I was like, so when you're like 15 years down the road and you're really old, I want to pop this open and we'll drink. We'll drink the bourbon that you guys have bought, and that's like 10 bottles of bourbon. Yeah. So I'm really excited for that moment. And that'll just be a good, memory to have.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I would much rather give somebody who loves bourbon a bottle of bourbon than go and buy them glasses. Because, people who don't know bourbon but are looking to get somebody who likes bourbon something related to it. Yeah. Their go-to is, glasses, whiskey rocks. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. Bourbon ball, or not bourbon balls. Ice ball makers.
And it's never the good brand of them. It's the ones they went to Kohl's for and bought. It's always the ones that actually don't work
and they fall apart as you're. Yeah. I understand exactly what you mean there. No, I love the ice makers that I have. The ice ball makers. I prefer ice balls to ice cubes with bourbon. Just because it doesn't water it down as quickly.
And I prefer the ice ball to Stones too.
Oh, I don't like Stones at all.
I don't like Stones really either.
Stones have a weird flavor to them.
Mm-hmm. I also don't think they don't stay cold enough.
No, not nearly long enough. Yeah. But I still would rather drink bourbon neat as opposed to on the rocks or anything. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a moot point for me at this point. But yeah, get somebody you love a bottle of bourbon. For sure. I mean, if they also like bourbon,
if they like bourbon, yeah.
I mean, what's the harm in going and buying them Henry McKenna 10-year?
Bottle number,
barrel number 3446. That number again is 3446.
If you're the winner, call in. Let us know.
859.
Yeah.
Bourbon 1. BOUR. Yeah. Oh no, just bourbon.
Not even going to be a real phone number.
No, not at all. No, somebody's going to get a call.
Yeah. Hey, we found it. Found what?
Pizza Hut.
Yeah, exactly.
I found the bottle. What bottle? Anyway, I'm pretty much at a loss of what else to talk about during the holidays. What are you doing for the holidays, Curt?
Holidays?
Yeah.
I'm going. So this weekend, I'm actually going up to Ohio, which is where I'm from. And Allie's my girlfriend. She's coming in. She goes to law school in Virginia. So it's gonna be awesome to have her in the same area. And so we're gonna go up there and have Christmas. We're gonna go see Christmas lights and just have a good time.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Speaking of holiday bourbons, though, this is what So you mentioned the Angel's Envy Rye.
I have, yes.
And
Tomato soup.
No, not tomato soup at all. Not tomato soup at all. So Angel's Envy Rye was going to be my holiday bourbon.
Oh yeah,
Just because it tastes so much like Christmas.
and then you saw the price tag, right?
And then I saw the price tag, and then I will probably not have it for Christmas. But if you can get it for Christmas, it's so sweet, has the hazelnut and like the sweetness of the rum, and it's just so good.
You know what? I just poured us some turkey for the third review. Maybe we'll do a fourth one.
Okay,
With
we'll
the
see.
Angel's Envy Rye. We'll have to see. But yeah, I know you
This
still have to
episode's
try.
already off the rails.
Oh,
We
I
might
mean,
as well
like,
keep it going.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it'll be nice for Allie to be back for.
Oh yeah. What are you
holidays.
doing for the holidays?
Oh man, we have. Let me count. We have at least 5 Christmases.
Wow.
This year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we're gonna be all over the place.
I feel that. I guess that's kind of how I am too.
No, 6. 6 Christmases.
6. Okay, I don't have that many.
Maybe 7.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, seriously.
just way too many.
I mean, like, it's enjoyable, like, in the same way that, like, you know, a birthday week is, where you just kind of are able to, you know, keep going. But, man, by the last 2, you're like,
Oh, come on.
let me go home.
Yeah, just give me my presents and let me go home.
No, I'm excited about it. I always love being able to hang out with family and everything. And, you know, it's the only time of year that everybody is really, you know, together.
Oh, it is.
You know, and
It's a
actually,
time to be together, like share a drink, have some good memories. It really is. It really is.
This is a message brought to you by the Ghost of Christmas Present.
Yeah.
Enjoy time with your family, because tomorrow they might not be there.
Oh wow.
Anyway, so bourbon. Yeah, we do want to say though, everybody have a happy holidays and everything, because you know we are nothing if not nice people here on the
Yes.
on the show. And you know we have really enjoyed over the past couple of months sharing our bourbon experience with y'all, and we do thank you all for listening. And I hope that the new year finds y'all happy and healthy and all that good stuff. And I'm gonna stop being sappy
And
here
lots of
soon
bourbon.
because and drink more bourbon, as our good friend Chad Perkins would say. So as we sit here and we kind of swish around our third review of the
Our Wild
episode,
Turkey.
our Wild Turkey 101, I'm kind of excited for this because I like Wild Turkey 101 quite a bit. The nose on it reminds me a lot of Weller Antique, and like it's
I'll
got
agree on
got
that.
some of the heat, but you know it's also a little bit sweeter
Yeah.
on the nose. But
And the palate's very good too. Has more of those bolder flavors, the spice.
oh, it's got that very distinct Wild Turkey
Yes,
flavor to
definitely Wild Turkey. I think where it falls apart for me is the finish.
the finish. Yeah.
And I mentioned that last
No, I
2 episodes ago?
Yeah,
yeah.
I
mentioned
completely
that
disagree, though.
Yeah, I've been told.
yeah, I know.
2 episodes ago, I mentioned that it's something that I wouldn't buy because I would have other options that I would want to try.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's where I'm like indifferent about it.
Yeah,
I enjoy it all the way up to the finish, and the finish is where I'm just like, oh, like
the
it
finish.
just comes back too fast.
See, the finish for me, like I don't know why I find the finish to be that much more enjoyable than you do, but like it's still evolving for me. 5, 10, 15 seconds after my sip, and like there's not a lot of vanilla up front, but to me the finish is just like nothing but sweetness and vanilla. I mean,
You think?
yeah.
See,
absolutely.
I don't get that. I get a lot of pepper and oak and just
Oh, really?
yeah, but it's too
I get more of the pepper on the front end.
too bold for me.
Yeah. No, I get a lot of pepper on the front end, but I mean it's a higher rye bourbon, so you
Yeah.
know naturally it's going to have a little bit more of that spice and that pepper to it. It doesn't drink like 101 proof. I'll say that much.
Mm-mm.
I don't think that it has too much heat.
No, it doesn't.
Wild Turkey is one of those ones we've talked about it so much on the show before, but it's one of those ones where I never give it enough credit. I mean, it is really a very a good quality bourbon. Just and like all of their products, I think are
and maybe
really
it's because one of my go-to bourbons was the rare breed.
The rare breed, yeah.
And I think that's why I might have it. Like
I understand.
I like rare breed so much better than 101.
I think that's fair. Like I kind of approached this from a like I could have this as an everyday
sipper.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 100 proof, 101, give or take. That is right where I find my everydays to kind of sit. Just because, it has some of that heat, but it's not overpowering. But it's right in the middle where, flavor and proof really, I think, are married very well.
Okay.
So I like 101 quite a bit. But all that being said, do you want me to go first this time on my review? Or?
Go
Okay,
ahead.
sure. For the nose, I think I'm going to have to give it a 3. Just because it's good, but it's not really special or anything. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a pretty solid 3. Palate, I'm definitely gonna give it a 4. Again, it has some of those caramel and vanilla notes on it. But the rye, I like higher rye bourbons quite a bit. So the rye, I think, is what kind of pushes it a little bit further for me. So I think that's where I'm getting the 4 from. Finish, I'm going to give it a 3.5. Just because yes, it does keep going for a long time. But it's all pretty standard. It's pretty, not generic, but, it's one note, I guess. Like, a lot of what I get on the finish is just vanilla. And some kind of like baked goods to it too.
Which this is totally going to be different from mine.
And I mean,
on the finish there.
That's fine. In price, I mean, for $20, it's hard to beat. I mean,
the price point is very nice.
Yeah.
For a 101 proof, a high proof bourbon, you're not going to find one for $20 for the most part.
I mean, you can find lower priced bottle and bonds, at 100 proof. Again, I'm sorry that I'm sick this week. But it's not affecting my palate or my nose or anything. I'm just
totally the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still being I can still push through it and everything. But anyway, price, I think I'll probably give it a 4. Just because, overall, it's a good everyday sipper. All that kind of factored in together. I think it deserves a 4. So what did I do? 3, 4, 3.5, and 4. Yep. So 8. Wait, 6, 14. 14.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So 14.5 out of 20. That's not bad. I'm not too upset with that.
No.
That's kind of what I gave. It's about what I gave the Blantons too, isn't it?
No, you gave the Blantons. We both gave it.
Do we both give it 15?
Yeah.
Whatever. So I mean, for a little bit less, a bourbon that's, well, I guess this is a single barrel. I'm not going to compare the two. That's not fair.
No, yeah,
that's not fair at all. Anyway, I guess if you have the option between this specific single barrel,
yes,
of Blanton's from Liquor Barn and Wild Turkey 101,
they're going to be similar.
It's your choice. Yeah, I mean, and for me, in terms of what I prefer to drink, it's pretty equal.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm going to recommend Wild Turkey 101 to people. But anyway,
I'll say we'll start with the nose. Nose, I think I'm going to give it. I think I'm going to give it a 3. It's good. It has those sweet flavors, the vanilla that you were talking about. So I'll give it a 3 out of 5. The palate, I'm going to give a 4. The palate's very good. I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah.
And where it goes wrong for me is the finish. The finish just
Wait, what was your number on the palate?
4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So a 3
must
and a
have missed
4. And then the finish, I'm going to give it a 2.5. I think 2.5. It just, for me, it bites back too much. It has this like bitter taste to me. And,
Interesting. Okay.
And you were saying you taste the sweetness and it goes on for a long time. I think it goes on for a long time, but it's not in its favor.
Not in the way that you want it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2.5, and price point I'm gonna give a 4 because it's a good bourbon. I think it tastes good, and the price is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So what is that?
That's 13 and a half.
Yeah.
Overall.
That's about
So
where
I mean,
I expected.
again, like that's not.
It's not terrible. No,
but
it's not
also
bad.
Not, it's not a bad review. It's not a bad number.
I enjoy it
at all for it.
I think my biggest thing is I'm gonna go for something different. If I'm gonna be buying a different bourbon, I'm gonna be like, hey, I've had 101. I think it's okay, but I'm not craving it. I'm not gonna go.
I mean, this is the first bottle of 101 that I've bought in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely buy another one. You know, I mean, for stuff like spirit forward cocktails, it's great.
Yeah, if you're putting it in a cocktail, I definitely can see that.
Yeah. So, I might be putting it in a hot toddy here in the next couple of days because that's just kind of the way that I'm feeling.
And it's going to give you the heat, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That warm feeling.
Mm-hmm. So, 14 and a half and 13 and a half from us. And this has been an episode where we've just kind of been all over the place.
We really have.
Literally and otherwise. But, for just the two of us, two bros just hanging out.
Hanging out.
We'll just drinking bourbon. Just two dudes hanging out drinking bourbon, you know.
On a Tuesday night.
Little insight into when we actually record the episode.
Yeah. Gotta go to work next day.
I don't want to do anything the rest of this week.
No.
I mean,
it's also that Christmas is coming up, and I'm just like...
Mentally, I'm already on Christmas break.
Mentally, I'm gone. Yeah. Like, I have Christmas, and then I'm taking that whole week of, afterwards till the 2nd.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, get me there.
Whew. So that being said, do you want to go for another review, or do you want to hold off until another night?
Why not?
You want to do it? You want to do a fourth one?
Do you want to?
I don't see why not.
All right.
I mean,
cool.
I got work I got to do tonight, but
Yeah.
I can design.
We can do it later.
I can do design. Yeah, I can design with a little bit of bourbon in me.
It's funny because I actually can do better sometimes when I do.
I do too.
When I have like a couple drinks in me.
I do too. Especially just kind of as a as a lubricant to ease me into.
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
Because you're not. Yeah, for real.
I don't know. I'm gonna stop right there and clean out my Glencairn. By the way, I know that there is somebody out there going, but what glasses are they drinking out of?
Glencairn.
We've been drinking out of the same style glasses for all of our reviews. For this one, we were drinking out of Glencairn glasses. For the first two, we were drinking out of these Four Roses 125th anniversary glasses that I like so much. They're not exactly rocks glasses. I talked about this, and at the time of recording, the episode hasn't come out. But by the time this episode actually does drop, the episode I'm about to talk about will be the last episode.
Yeah.
So on the last episode, when I was talking with Chad and Sarah, I talked a little bit about how much I like these Four Roses glasses, and they're not rocks glasses. They are kind of.
What are those considered?
I don't actually know.
Do they have an actual name?
If they do, I don't know. I might. Here's what I'll do. The day that this episode comes out, which will be Wednesday, December 20th, 5 days before Christmas. That's scary to think about.
Get your shopping done.
Please. I'm going to post a picture on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter of these glasses. And if you know what these styles of glasses are called, let me know, because I'm really interested to find out what they actually are. If they're just rocks glasses, I have a feeling that's all that they are.
They very well might be. It's just it doesn't look like a normal rocks glass, you know?
Right. So I am going over to the box.
It like tapers at the bottom.
It does, yeah.
Tapers.
And one of the reasons that I like it more than a rocks glass is that I feel like it has kind of the same effect as a Glencairn. Excuse me, I'm getting snotty.
Yeah.
It has kind of the same effect as a Glencairn where it brings forward some of those notes a little bit quicker than a rocks glass
Takes
does.
back
And
the
in
ethanol.
a more sophisticated manner, I guess. But they also kind of serve as better like everyday glasses. You know what we need to do? We do actually need to review Bulleit.
Okay.
And here's why we need to do it. So this bottle of Bulleit that I'm pulling out and trying to get the cork out of, Kurt's got me. Was actually
Wait.
was actually sent to us by Bulleit for the purpose of reviewing on the show. We got in contact with them about having Tom on the show in the past, and it didn't work out. And instead, they sent us this bottle, which I can't say enough about. You pour too much.
I poured way too much.
I can't say enough good things about them sending this to us. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much to Mike and everybody at Bulleit for doing this for us.
Yeah, thank you.
And in that spirit, I guess, cheers to
Let's
y'all.
get a clink.
Yeah. We go from one high rye bourbon to another.
Yep, just keep it going.
And very different profiles, actually.
For sure.
This is the first time I've had Bulleit out of a Glencairn, now that I think about it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And I think, it's also, what's this at?
90.
90
Is it 90 or is it?
It's at 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's probably a little bit to it as well.
Definitely.
Is we're going from like a 101 to a 94.
Mm-hmm. The nose is so sweet.
Yeah. I enjoy that nose a lot.
It's almost like sugary. Or like
sugary baked goods.
Yeah.
Like a sugar cookie.
Oh yeah,
I'd say
absolutely.
a sugar cookie.
100%.
In the spirit of Christmas.
I love sugar cookies. Little secret about me, sugar cookies and peanut butter cookies are
One
my
and the same?
favorites. So
Okay.
if you want to send me a little treat, don't do that. You don't have my mailing address. If you do, hi Dad.
That's creepy. Yeah, don't do that.
Hi Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just kind of all the way through. I don't really get a whole lot of
Yeah, I'm not getting a whole lot of that
like peppery rye notes.
notes, no.
I hadn't had Bulleit in a while, and I
haven't
came
either.
back. I came back to it with this bottle actually, and Bulleit used to be my go-to like everyday bourbon, and
honestly, I think it could be. Yeah.
oh for sure. I mean at like $25, $26 at most.
Mm-hmm.
I mean again, for the overall quality of it, you're not going to find much better than that. I don't think. The finish could be a little bit longer, but I'm not upset with it necessarily. Like it still has some of the that sweetness that we've been talking about. It's very caramel forward too. It's very
Very caramel, vanilla forward, sweet.
Yeah.
Just very sweet.
So yeah, I think
Go
ahead.
Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
And I think this has been kind of a cool transition of my palate, because I used to drink Bulleit and I would be all about it. I'd be like, this is great, and I love that sweet smoothness. But now that I've tried and my palate's evolved, now I'm kind of sitting here going, yeah, it's really good. But I want more of those bourbon notes of, that oaky, that charred.
Sure, yeah. It doesn't have a whole lot of like the char to it or the oakiness or anything. But like, again, I'm not terribly like upset with that at all. I think that, like, I enjoy this, and this is gonna sound kind of negative, but I enjoy this for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I enjoy this as a standalone bourbon. And I really am not trying to compare it to anything else.
No, and you can't.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Because it's on total different sides of the spectrum. You know, you're going to have your sweet, very caramel bourbons, and then you can't compare it to something like a Woodford or
definitely.
Just because they're in two totally different profiles.
Yeah. Do you want me to go first again, or do you want to go?
I'll go.
Go for it.
Why not? Nose. I really like sweet and kind of that savory nose. So I'm going to give it a 4. I love those type of noses. That
Definitely.
You just smell it and you're like, whew, that's good.
Almost one of those like an air freshener or a candle.
An air freshener or a candle. That would be awesome. We should try to do that.
We'll get in contact with Bulleit.
Yeah,
they're going to be. They're actually going to be hearing this. They're going to.
Are they really?
Yeah, I'm going to be sending this to them directly.
Oh, okay, awesome.
When all this comes out. So,
yeah, that'd be awesome to have a candle like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And that one that smells distinctly of bourbon. I've smelled some other like bourbon candles, and they don't smell like bourbon. It's more of like a country home. You know, it's not bourbon. It's
I know what
country
you mean.
home, but
So
they
you're
associate those. Two
But you're
things.
getting more of like the wood, like oakiness with it than you are like the actual alcohol and
yes.
you know. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So I'd like to have more of that. Bulleit, if you're gonna have a candle, you should do it that way. Cool. But so nose, amazing. I'm a big fan.
Yep.
Palate, really enjoy the palate. I wish I had just a little more of that pepper, more of those charred notes.
I have to agree. Yeah.
But still, overall, really good. Enjoyed it. So I'm gonna give that a 3.5, and then finish. Let me try one more time.
For science.
Finish, there's not a ton there, but it does have that nice, just go straight down and you feel that warmth, and it has it continues the palate all the way through, and I enjoy that. So I think I'm gonna give it a 4. And price is 27, you say? Around there?
25, 26.
25, 26. Yeah. I'll give it a 3.5 for price. I think it's very solid.
Yeah.
So what is that? That's
I didn't even
3.5, 4, 4, and 3.5, or 3.5. Yeah.
16.
Okay.
16 out of 20.
16 out of 20.
Yeah.
Okay. I enjoyed that. Then.
Nose, I think I'm going to give it 3.5. Because it has, again, what I like, but it's not quite. It needs to be pushed just a little bit more, I think, for it to really cue me in to what it's going to be. Palate, I'm definitely going to give it a 4. I mean, it's well-rounded. It's got some of the notes that I've always been looking for when I drink bourbon. But, it's very smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the palate on it is just crazy smooth. The finish, I think. See, this is what gets me is that like it's a good finish, but yeah, I do kind of wish that it had a little bit more to it. And the finish does kind of leave a weird aftertaste, but I'm not like upset about it either. I think I might give the finish a 3.5.
Okay.
And then for the palate, or excuse me, I'm working backwards apparently.
Yeah.
For the price, I'm going to give it a 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I just, it's one of those where it sits there and I know that people go and buy it. I think more people should buy it.
Oh, more people should definitely.
More people need to buy Bulleit. So that rounds me out at 15. 15 out of 20, and you had 16 out of 20.
Okay.
So yeah, again, another recommendation: go buy Bulleit.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't say that enough. I don't think. And again, thank you to Bulleit for sending us this bottle. That was really a surprise for me. Was getting that email that from Mike over at Bulleit that said, "What's your best mailing address? We'd love to send you a bottle." And I was like, "Really?
That's awesome." Yeah, like, okay.
We had at that point had 300 downloads or something like that, and I was like, "This isn't."
Which what we're at
as of recording on December 12th, we are at about 670.
Hey,
which is pretty.
That's
pretty
good.
solid. Yeah, I mean for 6 episodes in, I mean that's almost 100 episodes. Yeah. And new episode's about to drop tomorrow. This episode will come out, and people are going to be downloading even more. So. Again, we can't say enough. Thank you all so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Tell your friends, please.
Yeah, get the name out there. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, no kidding. We actually had a couple shout-outs this week.
Did we?
Yeah, first was on the podcast
okay.
with Will and the Grease. They talked about being on the show, and they were like, go listen. And I was like, that's crazy. I can't believe that this is already happening.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
And then I got a little bit of a shout out on It's Bourbon Night from Chad and Sarah, because they revisited Old Forester Statesman for the Lexington Bourbon Society Advent Calendar.
Yeah,
where they've been going through and
I've been watching.
Yeah, and that was that Monday or Sunday of this? I think it was Sunday of this week, where. They revisited it for the calendar, and they're like, we tried this before with Pear Bear.
Yeah,
and I was like, don't
call me Pear Bear.
Everybody calls me Pear Bear.
Really?
Yeah.
I would never ever think to be like, oh, that's Pear Bear.
You're one of the few.
Well, you're
so
welcome.
Anyway,
is what pretty much then.
What I guess I'm saying here is, it's nice to see. A to feel like we're part of a community like this, and B to kind of see this community growing a little bit of friends drinking bourbon together and talk about. Maybe that'll be our new intro is where friends talk about
friends drinking bourbon.
Where friends talk about what makes bourbon the spirit of Kentucky.
Yeah,
I like honestly, that. I like that. I think
That's
that'll
nice.
be the starting the new year. That'll be our new intro slogan or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Our New Year's resolution.
Our New Year's resolution is to drink more bourbon with friends.
Except we'll actually follow through with it.
For sure.
For all those people that are like, I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to go to the gym. And then do absolutely nothing.
We're going to drink more bourbon.
AKA, that is me.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, Curt, you know what it's time for. Our new famous segment. Recommendations.
Okay. Recommendations.
What do you have to recommend to people this week, Curt?
I have the show Easy on Netflix.
Okay, I've not heard of it.
I'm always on the Netflix, kick.
Last
week I mentioned Jim and Andy. This I'm mentioning Easy, but Easy is a great show. It's a different episode, and you don't have to watch every single episode to understand what's happening.
Okay,
but they have this really cool aspect of they tie little characters or there's
so it's the Love Actually of Netflix shows.
So there's not really.
No, I'm just kidding.
But there's little things that you see in one episode that happen in another episode, but you don't ever realize it. But you don't have to know about that in order to understand the episode.
Interesting.
So they're completely different episodes, but they tie them in together really well. And it's on the second season. They just released new episodes. There's been multiple people in it. There's Aubrey Plaza.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's in it.
Love Aubrey Plaza.
There's the first season had Dave Franco and just some really well-known actors and actresses. And it's just a great show. It's very fun-loving, kind of just a good show to watch. So.
Are you going to go see The Disaster Artist?
I am. I probably
Are you
will.
really? Yeah.
I'm in a love-hate relationship with James Franco.
I get that.
Because I think a lot of his work is I'm just like, all right, this is dumb.
Yeah.
I'm not into dumb humor that much.
Sure.
So, I guess that's why I don't like some of his stuff. But then there's some stuff that he does I really enjoy. So I will go see it, and I hope it's not the dumb humor.
I'll probably wind up seeing it too. I don't think that it's gonna be. It's not gonna be the dumb humor, and the reason is because like it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that it's gonna have some of those humorous elements to it, but like, you know, it's still everything that I've heard is that it's like an underdog story.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it doesn't paint Tommy Wiseau of, you know, The Room in infamy.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the word. It doesn't paint him in a negative light. It makes him look like the hero.
Yeah.
So I've heard nothing but good things about the Room. I've heard terrible things about The Room. I've heard nothing but good things about the Disaster Artist. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, yours is Easy
Yes.
on Netflix.
Great show.
I am going to recommend a couple of things. You got to our house and we were watching Bob's Burgers.
Yes.
I can't recommend Bob's Burgers enough. It's my
so
favorite
good.
show. I think it might be one of like at least top 3 all-time favorite shows.
All-time
for
favorite
me.
shows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a good question.
Okay.
All-time adult cartoons. Top 3. Let's just real quick.
Here's the thing. I don't like a whole lot of adult cartoons.
You
like,
can
I
get
think
out
Family...
of my house.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I think Family Guy's pretty dumb. American Dad's really funny. I just got done watching Big Mouth
Okay.
on Netflix. Have you seen Big Mouth yet?
I've seen some of it, yeah.
Okay. It's really vulgar.
It is very vulgar.
Do
Do not let your kids listen to that.
Gosh, no. Do not let any child under the age of like
Yeah.
20.
It might be based on children, but
Children
not.
do not need to watch that show by any means.
No.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, like I was a teenage boy once. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
I relate
yeah,
to a
you
lot of
relate
like,
to
you
it.
know, that stuff that they went through and everything. But like, I don't know. Like, I haven't watched enough of like Futurama or The Simpsons to go.
Okay.
You know, so like Bob's Burgers is just up there for me. I think.
Oh,
kind
it's
of
definitely
in general.
Yes, and same for me.
Yeah.
Same for me.
So Bob's Burgers, I'm going to recommend something bourbon related. I have been reading on Bourbon Empire: The Past and Future of America's Whiskey. It's a really good book that delves into the history of bourbon. Go buy it on Amazon. I bought it for like less than $4. Donate to a charity while you buy on Amazon. I think that's a pretty cool thing to do. What's it called? Smile Amazon or Amazon Smile or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. You know, it's just something that Amazon does, kind of like, I guess, out of the goodness of their hearts. This is a good time of year to do all that too. So anyway, yeah, that's gonna just about do it for us this episode. Curt, where can they find you on social media?
And I actually have this prepared.
Good for you.
I
That's
know.
a first. This is a first in the show
6
history.
episodes in, and
Yeah.
I'm just now getting my social media handles. So Instagram, it's KurtCon, and on Twitter, it's Kurt_Con15.
15. The 15 is important.
Yes.
If you want to reach me personally on social media, you can find me at PRitter1492. If you want to hit up the show, use the hashtag This Is My Bourbon Podcast on Twitter. We are on Instagram at This Is My Bourbon Shop, or at my just. Hold on, let me back up there.
Words are hard.
Words are the worst. On Twitter and Instagram, we are at My Bourbon Shop. On Facebook, we are This Is My Bourbon Shop. And if you want to email us with questions or comments or anything in particular, this is my bourbon shop at gmail.com. Leave us a rate and review on iTunes if you please. We would really, really appreciate that. Tell your friends about the show. We are, just kind of getting our feet on the ground and trying to figure out our way around this and everything. I think that about does it for us.
I think that covers it.
Guys, have a happy holidays.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
We will see you in the next year. And until then, I'm Perry.
I'm Curtis.
And this is My Bourbon Podcast.